Hi, everyone, and welcome back inside the Mountain West Network studio for the 2022 Mountain West Women's Basketball Media Days. He's Jesse Kurtz. I'm Bridget Howard, and we've got more stops today on our journey for Women's Basketball Media Days. We just spoke with Wyoming head coach Heather Ezell and senior guard Quinn Weideman. Now we'll head further out west to beautiful, sunny San Diego and hear from the head coach of the San Diego State Aztecs, Stacie Terry-Hutson. Coach, how are things out in San Diego?
Wonderful. We're excited to be, somewhat healthy and getting after it in practice. And the weather's beautiful as it always is. You know how San Diego is. So we're living the good life right now.
You certainly live in the good life. We've got 40-degree weather here today, or at least that's what I walked into the office with. So I'm a little bit jealous of you. But during the break, we talked about how you're really looking forward to this season with this group of women. What gets you so excited about this group specifically this year?
Well, just really excited about the level of play. I mean, we've raised the level of commitment, I think, to getting better every day. We have a nice mix of returners coming back. We have 7 kids that were on the roster last year and obviously 6 new faces that really brought a lot for us and had a very, very successful summer and fall. So we're excited to be in the thick of things. We're getting better every day. It'll be my task to challenge them, to push them to different levels than we've ever gone, and create some adversity in practice so we can be the best versions of ourselves this year.
Well, Coach, this is just for everyone, media members, this is just a reminder that if you have a question for Coach, to please make sure to raise your hand to enter the queue.
Coach, you mentioned that momentum that you built 15 wins a year ago, trending upwards here. In what ways were some building blocks laid down last year that you have seen that has paid some dividends with this year's team ramping up to the opening tip?
Well, our guard play was sensational last year, and we returned the majority of that. So we're excited that those young ladies are back on the floor. And, I talked briefly about the kids that we have transferred in, but our returners have done a really great job of improving this offseason and really getting in the gym and working on their game. So those guards that are coming back in Asia and Sophia and Mercedes are really going to help us take us to the next level. So those building blocks were laid with that core group, and with the addition of the young ladies that we added, we're just a better version of ourselves. I mean, the competitiveness in practice is something that I've never seen since I've been here. We're playing harder, we're playing faster, we're definitely smarter. So it's going to be a much better version of ourselves this year.
You mentioned Sophia Ramos once again, deservedly first team All Mountain West preseason. Here's somebody that's already the only player in school history with over 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, and 400 assists. I mean, when you look up complete package on the basketball floor, she probably comes to mind, and maybe her picture is there. What sort of player is she, and how will she be even better? Because she's already done things that no Aztec's ever done.
Well, as you mentioned, Sophia is all over the record books, and we are just so grateful that she came back to utilize her 5th year. And I think the one thing that she's going to help us more than she ever has is she's going to be a coach on the floor. I mean, she has such a high IQ, and she affects the game in so many ways that she's able to see things and help her teammates, just continue to rise and get better. So she's definitely our vocal leader, along with Asia. Those two are really setting the tone. If
you have a question for Coach Stacie, you can go ahead and raise your hand, and your Zoom interface will get you called upon, get you in queue. Is there such thing as too many coaches on the floor? Because you've got 6 players in their 5th year of college basketball, which is a great luxury.
I was always told to never be young. So we definitely went to the other side of it. So we're definitely a much more mature team, as we have 6 players that are in grad school. So it's been really fun to coach. I have to manage now their bodies. They tease and say that they're old. They're in their early 20s and, they're old bodies, but we just got to make sure we're managing them to make sure that they're staying healthy. But we've really taken a turn in just how hard we play. And that's a testament to the maturity that we have on our team with the kids coming back and the newcomers.
Coach, if they're old, what does that mean?
We're really old, right? I know. So when they're complaining about being sore, I'm like, hey, just wait till you wake up and you hurt your back. That's
you
that's
feel
coming.
My pain.
Yeah.
Well, we talk about the older players, but let's talk about one of the young players on your group that really made a name for herself last season, Asia Avinger. You mentioned how she's one of the leaders for this team. How have you seen her really continue to grow into her own within this Aztecs program this offseason?
Well, believe it or not, she's playing at a faster pace. If you've watched any of our games, you know how fast she is, and she's actually practicing faster than I've ever seen her practice. She's made huge strides on understanding the game, and again, being a point guard that I know that she can be. And just she's a kid that leads by example and lays it out there every single time she steps on the floor. So we're grateful for her to be actually pushing herself, because in turn, she's pushing the rest of us.
You brought in quite a few transfers this offseason. Who are some of those players that you think will really make an immediate impact for this group this season?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't mention my staff and how hard they worked recruiting these young women to come to San Diego State, because we have a great group of kids, incoming kids. They're going to play a big piece in what we do, and our goal to win a championship here in the Mountain West. Most importantly, they've raised the level of commitment. I mean, they're just practicing at a different pace, which has raised everybody's level. But, you know, with Yummy and Abby and Sarah and AD from Utah State, these young ladies have just really stepped up their game, and we're just matching it and playing at a different level.
Well, that play will certainly help you guys as you gear up for this non-conference season. You guys open the season at Stanford, then you play San Francisco. You're also playing in the West Palm Beach Invitational. How will their experience that they brought from their previous schools really help you and give you guys kind of a better understanding when you go into these games this non-conference season?
Well, we really challenged ourselves this year with this coming schedule. Like you mentioned, you know, Stanford, we got some really hard people on our schedule. We're going to check ourselves and see where we are. And I think to your point, these young women have played at a high level and played against some of this competition, this really good competition. So they'll be able to keep us composed and show us what it looks like when we compete at that level.
Well, this is just a reminder that if you've got a question for head coach Stacie Terry-Hutson, to please make sure to raise your hand to enter the queue.
Coach, you mentioned Adriana Quezada, from formerly of Utah State. She was an all Mountain West player, and you got a firsthand look at her. In what ways has she made your program better? And has she lived up to what you saw as a competitor to now what you see every day in practice?
Even more. She's done even more. She's a kid that's in the gym early, stays late. She is an unorthodox scorer, but she finds a way to get it done. She's just really trying to be the best version of herself. And by that, she's just raising our level. She has been a pleasure to coach, and I'm grateful that she's wearing red and black this season.
Coach, we do have a question for you coming from Matt Atencio with YO Sports. Matt?
Hey, Coach. So listen to you talk. Clearly, you guys have a lot of experience on the team. That feels like that's probably going to be one of your guys' big pros for you guys this year. But do you feel like there's any other big strengths that you guys are going to be having going into this season?
Matt, thank you for that question. Yeah, you know, as you mentioned, the experience is going to be key for us as we understand who we are and what we need to do to win. I think is going to be the big key for us in conference play for sure. But you know, one of the things I think that we haven't talked about is just the addition of a post presence. We'll have, you know, some kids that can score down there, and we really have made a conscious effort to get the ball down low. So that will be a different part of our game that you haven't seen, I think, in the past.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, this offseason, you guys did a team retreat at Big Bear Mountain, and then also Kim Villalobos played for the El Salvador national team. What were some of the other highlights, or can you expand on some of those offseason activities that you guys got to participate in?
You know, it was really great for Kim to go play for her country, and, you know, averaged a double or close to it down there. So for her the commitment that she showed this summer, it's really paid off for her, and we're looking forward to her doing big things. You know, and really the summer was just about us coming together. The Big Bear trip was us just trying to get be vulnerable with each other. We talk a lot about sacrifice. We have a lot of kids in our team that can do a lot of different things. So we want to make sure we understand that we're all in it to win a championship. And by doing that, some of them may have to sacrifice their individual strengths. So the coming together has happened. The staying together is what we're working on right now.
Coach, you had mentioned how hard your staff work and how appreciative you are of the work that they put in to round out your roster. With the commitment that San Diego State has made and continues to make in athletics, I'm curious, how easy of a sell is that when you are bringing in freshmen, you are bringing in transfers to say, hey, this is what we have to offer here?
Well, we love our resources and what we have here at San Diego State. We have a great administration and resources for our student athletes to be the best version of themselves. We have, help on and off the court. So San Diego is a great opportunity for a lot of people that are looking to achieve their basketball and academic goals. So the beach doesn't hurt, that we can go to the beach and sell that as well. But I will tell you, when we bring kids on campus, they fall in love with our staff, they fall in love with our players, and they understand that, we have everything it takes to win championships. And that's obviously the goal. And we've been lucky to do a good job there.
You being so invested in your players' lives, you mentioned how many graduate students you have, and the key word in that phrase being graduate, to have these young ladies earn degrees first and foremost and continue to play. How much does that warm your heart that they're taking care of that as well as competing on the basketball floor?
Well, that's a big piece of what we do as coaches, is we're allowing our student athletes the opportunity to get a great education. Basketball is not who we are. It's just the avenue to give them scholarships and obviously make themselves ready for life after basketball. So, them, achieving their goals, and they're in a variety of different careers or actually graduate programs. But for them to be able to get a graduate degree and alongside play basketball, I just think it's the best of both worlds.
Well, Coach, we appreciate the time here today. Congratulations on what sounds like a great summer, and continued best of luck here as you get set to tip off another season.
We appreciate it. Thank you, Jesse, Bridget. Appreciate it.
You bet. We appreciate you. That's the head coach of the San Diego State Aztecs, Stacie Terry-Hutson, who, again, last year, 15 wins, best season in a while, trending upwards. And there's no reason to think, with the amount of star power that they have and capable basketball players that not only are filling the chairs that they have filled, the Sofia Ramos of the world, but the new transfers that have come in, this is going to be a team that is going to be very, very dangerous and should challenge near the top of the Mountain West here this year.
They would have been a good team if they didn't bring in transfers. They had Sofia Ramos, Asia Avinger, players that really just were such playmakers last season, but then they go out and bring in these big time transfers, and Yummy Morris from TCU, Abby Prohaska from Notre Dame, and you add this just elevated level of play to your roster. I'm really excited about this San Diego State team to watch them this year.
We're excited to head back out to San Diego and bring in Asia Avinger, who's kind enough to make time for us here on the 2022 Mountain West Women's Basketball Media Days. Asia, it's great to see you. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
We are fantastic. Appreciate you asking. So, Coach Stacie laid out a pretty positive roadmap of how good this team can be. What have you seen on the court, off the court with this club that you think, yeah, we could be very dangerous in the Mountain West?
I believe that we have a great set of girls on the team, and they all bring a different special piece to add to a whole. And I think that it's going to be something special. We all get along well, and we don't have any issues. And I just think that we can really have something special. We all push the pace, and everybody's putting their full effort in to work hard.
Well, that leads to great things within a team. There's no doubt about that. If you have a question for Asia Avinger, to our media members who are on, go ahead and raise your hand on your Zoom toolbar. We'll get you in queue and get you called upon to ask some questions. You can ask a question and multiple follow-ups if you so choose. Asia, I'm curious. We heard about you a couple of years ago. You were a preseason freshman of the year in the Mountain West. Unfortunately, an injury ended your season before we ever got to see you. But last year, you come out, averaged 12 points, 3.9 assists, tops amongst the conference freshmen. Where do you see yourself taking the next step? And what is that next step for you on the basketball floor?
I believe the next step is just continue to work hard and potentially be a 3-level scorer. And I've been really working on my 3-pointer and conditioning as well. I need to be in the game for a majority of the time in order for my teammates to be okay. And my role in the team is to be a quarterback and to lead this team by example and vocally as well. So those are like my main focuses, and everybody would just follow suit.
Asia, Coach talked earlier about how she's really just seen the level of competitiveness raised so much in practice so far this season. How have you seen that during practices as you gear up for this year?
I just believe everybody really wants it. Like, I know everybody has the same goal and the same mindset of winning a championship. And it's easier said than done, and I believe it. And we're just putting in the hard work now so we can get there in the future.
Despite being one of the younger players on this team with a group that now has 6 players in their 5th year of college, Coach still said that you are one of the leaders on this team. How much emphasis do you put on yourself to really grow into that leadership and be that leader for this group, despite being one of the younger players on this team?
I don't necessarily think that age matters. I think everybody on the court has a voice, and I'm just trying to use mine in the best way and take in information from my other teammates as well, and just use that to the best of my ability so we can work as a whole and really grow together.
We talked to Coach also about the transfers that have come into the program this season. Yummy Morris from TCU, Abby Prohaska, Notre Dame. Then you've also got Adriana Quezada from Utah State. How have you seen those transfers really start to make an impact in practices? And how do you think they'll help your team this season?
Oh man, I'm so excited for them. I think they're great pieces to be added to the team, and they just bring the game to a different level, and they have a different passion for the game, and I know that they really want it bad.
So you're quite the competitor on the basketball floor, and I would imagine, Asia, that started off at an early age. You have a couple of brothers who are football players at San Diego State, and Lucky and Noah. What was it like growing up in your household with 2 brothers who are now college football players? You're a high-level athlete. I mean, I would imagine there was a lot of competition no matter what you guys were involved in between you.
Always. We would compete over the smallest things. Either we were playing in the front of the yard, playing football or basketball, whatever. If we won, if we lost, we would fight it out, always.
Can you take them on the basketball floor?
Oh, of course. I'm not losing to them.
How much fun is it for you to all be at the same school and support one another?
Oh, I definitely think it's a blessing to be here. Like, it's really unheard of to have three siblings go to a school, and we spend a lot of time together, and we always kept it close in the family. Like, we just need to spend the most time together and really value our time together for as long as we can.
You're a very accomplished basketball player. You have been since your days in high school. And I understand that you spent some time as a coaching assistant at the Mamba Academy in Southern California. What was that like for you in giving back to the game and teaching others about what you have learned?
Oh, it was really fun. I mean, I got to have a great experience there and meet a lot of different people. I would meet so many NBA guys, coaches, young kids who are learning the game, studying the game, and I think it was just an overall great experience.
Asia, with so many transfers coming in this season and also returning that core group from last year, you know, you guys went to a team retreat at Big Bear Mountain this offseason. How big was that for you guys in coming together and trying to really create that chemistry as you get ready for this season?
Oh, I think it was very important. And I think everybody took a different piece for themselves. But the one thing that I really did appreciate was everybody opening up and being vulnerable with each other. And so that just leads to great things on the court. And we're able to get on each other without necessarily arguing back. We just take it into consideration and really like, okay, I got you. We got this. And we're just locked in as a team.
Well, Asia, we're certainly excited to watch you and the Aztecs take on this season, and we can't wait to watch what you guys accomplish this year. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for you guys too.
Absolutely. Well, that's Asia Avinger from San Diego State.